Tracy with the Orange County Library System, and we are at the Washington Park Branch Library in Orlando, Florida, capturing memories from our community. It is Friday, February 17th, 2012. Would you please tell us your name and where you are from?
My name is Lisa Simon, and I'm from Orlando, Florida.
So, Mrs. Simon, you were born here.
I was born here.
And what is your earliest memory of Orlando growing up here?
Well, my earliest memory of Orlando, I remember when Carver Shores was built, and I remember when Malibu was built, and I remember when Street Raleigh used to cut off at a certain point. You couldn't go straight through to get to Kirkland because it was all wooded. And I remember when the library was all wooded, and I remember when we used to have a drive-in theater. And I remember on the corner of Raleigh and Cozart, used to be a funeral home there, and now it's a church. And I remember where Guardian Care, the nursing home is. I remember it used to be Dr. Phillips Hospital, and it was the only hospital where black people could go and have their children, because I was born there, my mother told me. And I remember when everything in this area here, it was black owned, all the little stores and the restaurants. And I remember a more peacefulness back then than so right now. And I remember Carver Shores being built, I think I was 13, so it was like 1972, 73. I remember them being built then. And I remember Malibu, all of those being built, because they were all just dirt, you know, trees. It's like it was swampland back up in there. And I remember when Richmond Heights was built, and the houses were like $14,000 when they were first built. Not so much, not now. And I remember when Kirkman Road was just 2 lanes. And I remember when down Old Winter Garden Road was nothing but orange groves, as far as the eye could see, nothing but orange groves. And I remember we used to have, over on South Street, the black people would go there to have their picture taken. It was a photo studio. And actually, the man that did the photo, I think his wife was named Lila, and I think that's where the name Lila Mitchell came from, his wife. Because I remember when we were young, we would go there and have our picture taken by her husband. What else do I remember? It's like it's so much you remember. I remember the street L.B. McLeod Road, and I remember it was a construction company that street is named after. And I remember, well, we have deeds for property where a lot of the land that's in Washington Shores, the English owned it first. And then, you know, it got distributed out and black people bought it up. Oh, what else do I remember? I remember when there was no Winn-Dixie on Hiwassee. I remember when Hiwassee Road was wooded. no development at all there. Oh, I remember, what else do I remember? I remember the schools that were out here were mainly all black. And I remember the day of segregation and how, we started going to different schools from there. Oh, what else do I remember? I remember, I'm having a hard time remembering anything you need to ask me.
Well, how did you start cooking? Have you always loved cooking?
My mother was a cook, and we always cooked together on Sundays. And my mother used to cook for Mayor Carl Langford, and they became friends. And when she stopped doing that, she used to work in Denny's test kitchens, and she would come home and she would show us everything that she learned in the test kitchens. But growing up African American, we always had our own culture and the way that we did things. And my mother would show the girls and the guys in my family how we prepare this and prepare that. And they don't do it today, like we did back then. But that's basically how I got started from my mother.
And do you remember a favorite meal or recipe that your mother made that you just loved?
Yeah, my mother used to make this pie. We called it dewberry pie, but it was made out of blackberries. And I think that was my favorite thing because we would go pick the blackberries because they grew wild all over everywhere. And that was my favorite thing, the blackberry pie.